Hello and welcome to today's video. Here at the Art Beta, we are having a new challenge today, which is going to try this gouache paint and see if we can actually learn something from it. In the last video, we did swatch this gouache paint, so if you want, you can go and check that out too. It's linked down in the description. But today I have 6 mini canvases that I decided to paint the solar system on. And I did a quick sketch on my sketchbook, a very easy one, just to see how I wanted to spread the planets on the 6 canvases. And then I got started. I mixed the paint because visibly you could see that the pigments separate. But what I was doing, I was like, I don't really want to waste my time doing all of it. I think it's so time consuming. Also because I'm probably not going to use all of them, at least not in the day. Because I actually, to use, I think probably 3 to 4 days I took to finish this series of painting. Not because it was complicated, it just I had to split my day in multiple stuff. So I start this first paint with just line down the base color. This one looks like black, but it's actually a very intense blue. And then once I finished to lay down the color, the base color of the sun and Mercury, I was like, I think instead of waiting for the drying time for today, it's just easier if I go around and lay down the base color for all of the planets. And yeah, you will see this is a Instagram video that I share my planet phase one coloring with. But yeah, you will see my process here, but a couple of spread I didn't even film it. What I want to talk about instead while you watch the video is my impression on gouache. Um, as I mentioned before, I felt like I was going to love this medium because everybody say is a in between watercolor and acrylic, and I'm a person that loves acrylic and really loves watercolor as well. So I felt like I was meant to end up loving gouache as well. And I do, spoiler alert, I do. I really love gouache. But I have to believe that it's not watercolor, it's not acrylic. It may be easily defined like an in-between, but actually it's a paint all on its own. It has its own component, its own quality, its own... you have to learn your own way to work with it. It's actually so much harder. I saw all these YouTubers always saying how hard it is to work with gouache, and I always thought that they were just going over for, a YouTube reason. But it's actually hard. As a paint, it's quite complex. It's like you really have to force the paint to slide down on the paper. And of course it reacts to water, so if you want to thin it down, you can use it as a watercolor as well. But for me, the real positive thing about this paint is its opacity. I mean, look at the base color. This is just one layer and it look amazing. The opacity of this paint, it's something so unbelievably great, and I felt in love with it. Despite it's like a workout to try to spread the paint around. Honestly, it's very thick paint. It feels so nice. And the first couple of spread, I took a long time working on it because I was still trying to understand how you blend this paint, how much water can you add to it, that it's okay to use on the canvas as well. But by the last couple of spread, I went quite quickly. Honestly, in half an hour I finished the 2 spread, even less. So, well, the first 2 especially, it was I think one day and one the other day. But yeah, I think the must for this paint is the opacity, the pigment, the color, and of course it's a learning curve. So forget about being a mix of acrylic and watercolor. Gouache is a paint on its own. It's a strong paint, has a vibrant color, and it requires a certain commitment to it. I don't think it's something that people can easily fall in love with. It's not a simple medium to master, and people that can create entire artwork, beautiful artwork with the just gouache, they have my entire admiration. I felt in love with it. I knew I was going to have a connection to it, and despite the difficulties, I think it's a beautiful medium that I will definitely introduce more and more in my paint. At this point, I am painting earth, and it was quite emotional for me. I was trying to really give all of myself and try to paint it as nicely as possible, and I took a very long time to try to get the amount of brown and blue and white and green in the right balance. So yeah, I had an emotional time, and I was so happy when I finished to paint earth. At that point I was really happy how it came out. Yeah, I still like it. In the end of the video, guys, I'll give you a slow and proper up close of every single spread that I already hang it in my house. I really love it, and I think I will turn this in a limited edition postcard collection that will be available in my Etsy shop. So the link is down below. I'm not sure it will be ready, this collection, by the time the video come out, but it's definitely something I would like to do. I'm very happy how it came out, especially because it is my first time, and I really took some time to try to understand how it works, but I think it's a beautiful medium, and I will not just use this medium to complement watercolor, because with watercolor I always feel like it's missing that extra opacity. Because yes, I love the fluidity of watercolor, and I love that it really allowed me to make some good work in sometimes a very quick time. Sometimes in half an hour you get it done with watercolor. That I struggle to do this with the other medium, and I like the fluidity. I like how quickly the brush flow on the paper, but it always missing the extra bit of opacity that I think gouache can just do that. But mostly I think I will use it on its own. Honestly, I think it's so beautiful, this paint on its own, and I will definitely create more artwork using gouache only. And if this is something you're interested in, see guys, please let me know down in the comment. I would like to provide you with some content that I know you will enjoy. And yeah, I know I never say, but I do want to apologize for my accent. No English speaker, so I know I make a lot of mistakes. So thank you for sticking along despite my English. Anyway, I'll give you an up close and thank you so much for watching.